If you've ever wondered to yourself, why are my photos so grainy, then this is a video for you. In it, I'm going to explain what that noise is, what causes it, and most importantly, what you can do to avoid it or at least minimize it in the future. If you're new here, hi, my name's Audrey Ann and I've taught thousands of photographers just like you how to get the images that they've been dreaming of. So let's make a start today by showing you how to get images that have less noise. And be sure to stay right until the end because I'm going to have an extra pro tip for helping you get less noise in your images. So let's start by looking at what grain or that noise actually is. So you'll see this over your images, particularly images that have been taken in low light. You've got this kind of grainy, speckly stuff over your image. Let me show you an example. So this image was taken in low light and it has lots of noise. And if we just zoom in a little, you can see that grain or that noise more clearly. And it really just causes your images to be less clear and sharp. So we want to kind of minimize noise in our photos for that reason. So what can we do to avoid getting noise or grain in our images? Well, the culprit is your ISO setting. So ISO controls your camera's sensitivity to light. Let me give a really basic diagram for those of you who might be new to this. So you have your light coming in through your aperture in your lens, which then goes through your shutters, which is your shutter speed, and then it hits the sensor on the back of your camera. Now, the ISO is how much light is kind of picked up from the light that came in via your aperture and your shutter speed. And the higher the ISO number, the more sensitive your camera is to light. Now, this is fabulous because it means that you can take images in low light situations without having to resort to the dreaded pop-up flash. But on the downside, this does lead to more noise or more grain in our images. So the obvious answer to getting less noise or grain in your images is to use a lower ISO number. Now that can be easier than it first appears. So if you happen to be using a higher ISO number than you need, then obviously use as low a one as possible. But it's trickier than that in the fact that your other settings, your aperture and your shutter speed, play a part here too. Now, if you're not sure about what settings you should be using, then I have something for you that will help. It's my free manual mode cheat sheet. In that we go through some suggested settings for aperture, shutter speed and ISO. So be sure to download that. You'll see a link to that in the description below this video. Now, the other thing you can do, which will help you use that lower ISO number, is get more light onto your subject. So if your subject's away from the window, then move them closer to it. Open up the blinds, pull back the curtains, anything that is kind of blocking the light from reaching your subject, kind of get that out of the way and move your subject closer to the light source. Light is always so important in photography, and getting enough light on your subject is really going to help you be able to use the settings you want to use, including using that lower ISO number. So in this image here, it's actually a low light situation, but I've actually moved my subject closer to the window. Literally, that window is just very, very, very close to her. And getting that much more light on my subject means even in a low light situation, I can use a lower ISO number than I might otherwise have been able to do. So I promised you an extra bonus tip, so here it is. Always make sure that you never, ever, ever underexpose your images. Noise lurks in the shadows, and when you underexpose your image, you're essentially having the whole image in shadow. So even when you bring that exposure back up in editing or your post-processing software, you're just going to bring out all this noise. So always make sure that you expose correctly in camera. And in fact, if you overexpose a little bit, that will help with noise as well. Now remember, if you're not sure on your settings, do make sure you download that manual mode cheat sheet. The link was below there in the description, because if you can make sure that you are exposing correctly, you are going to minimize the noise in your images. So whatever you do, just don't be tempted to use as low an ISO number as possible, but end up underexposing, that's just going to make your noise worse. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below letting me know what you enjoyed about this video, or if you didn't enjoy it, let me know that as well, or what you would like me to make more videos about. I always love to hear from you. Make sure you also hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll get notified every week when we post a new video. So that's it from me today. Again, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next video.